Okay, carbon dioxide, one of the major greenhouse gases. Science has been observing it. Prior to 1950, Earth's CO2 concentration really never got above 300 parts per million.
And those same gases trap long-wave energy, and of course, because we're putting more of those gases in the atmosphere, we're trapping more heat in the lower part of the atmosphere, and it's changing the climate.
You can't understand forests in the West without understanding fire, among other things. This was the Serra Grande fire, that really devastated landscape that I showed you the picture of was right here. This fire burned 30,000 acres in one day. If you take even a big state like California and you add up all the fire that's happened over a period of decades, it really adds up. So I'm going to claim that I've proven my case that wildfire is affecting a large enough area over a relatively short amount of time, a few decades, so that it really is of consequence to the future of forests.
This is showing habitat loss between the 1780s and the mid-1980s, and it's just gotten worse. For wetlands, California has lost 91% of its wetlands. That's huge. I mean, there's so many species that can only live in wetlands, and now there's 91% less of them. You can imagine there's 91% less of the plants that need to persist there, the insects that need to pollinate those plants, and the animals that need to live there, okay?
Getting it so that it's very clear for us. Because this is stylistically already very cool. How about a hummingbird? What's the energy of a hummingbird? Hummingbird energy. If you're going shopping and you have hummingbird energy. How about a sloth? A South American animal that hangs around trees and takes a long time to get down.
The ocean was too acidic and everything changed.
Fish?
Surgeon?
Yes, it's me.
I didn't recognize you without a shoe.
I know. What happened to you?
I can't smell anymore. I can't find my fish. I can't find my mate.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh no. What can we do? What can you do?
The whole ecosystem got thrown out. So everybody was upset.
You kill my babies.
I deny those allegations.
How many of you have friends or relatives or people you run into who do not accept that climate change is real? Isn't that amazing?
And you should always be excited to engage in reasonable discussion with people who do not agree with you. You need to have some facts on hand. And you're only going to get those facts on hand if you are informed. Okay?
And it's important to say it's happening now. The polar ice caps are melting now, coral reefs are dying now, forests are being impacted now. You can look all over the world and see the impacts of climate change happening right now. So if anybody doubts that it's happening, you have abundant evidence to point to.
I'm interested in knowing from all of your perspective, have you seen anything that you think looks like climate change, or how are you feeling what you at least think might be climate change? Any of you observed anything? Yes. Sorry? Smog, right. So changes in air quality are directly connected to increasing temperature. Yes?
You see in the news there are a lot more cases of really severe hurricanes occurring in other places.
Exactly. So extreme events are directly connected to climate change. Yes.
The title of the play is B&B Ranting. And it's the ocean and the bee talking about how humans are going out of control and treating the planet terribly and what can be done.
Stay tuned.
While the wind is blowing its fierce wind, it picks up disgusting, vile trash and blows it to the broom side.
I'm disgusting, vile trash.
I hate the wind. It's constantly making me clean my house. I wish there was a solution. I don't understand. I'm the door to the Broom's house. I wish you could just see that I have hinges and I can close. I feel so useless all the time. You're right. I should just close my door.
Hey. Some of the best solutions are in plain sight. You just have to go knocking on the right door, the government, to find them.
Things that institutions can do or governments can do. Yes?
Sustainable practices.
Great. So they can promote sustainable practices themselves. They can be an example of how to do things right. But they also can require sustainable practice.
You have the power. You, everyone here individually has the power to mitigate or lessen the negative effects of climate change. What I would suggest is that you identify one thing every couple months, whether it's a straw, whether it's plastic water bottles, whether it's plastic bags, and try to remove that from your life.
And then what we can do is like reduce water use and reduce fossil fuels and move towards biofuel and renewables.
Shop at thrift stores, which is something.
Shop at thrift stores.
And then, let's see, plant native plants.
Plant native plants, yeah.
Use less plastic, of course, and we can stop wearing 20,000 liter pants.
I'm convinced that we can beat climate change. It is doable. However, it requires action at multiple levels. It can't be done just by one community or just by one individual. It has to be done collectively.
Let's say we did everything we needed to do here. That's not going to solve the problem. It's our engagement as a nation and our leadership that's going to help solve the problem. And to have the opportunity now to maybe take us in a direction where we heighten the importance of climate change and the need to respond to it, and begin to put the framework and the content and the specificity, the policy and legislation that will take us into the future is huge, and we have to do it.